Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Let's slice data with Saurabh. So I can see there are 700 plus subscribers now and I'm very happy for this because 700 people have shown trust in me and they are liking my videos. If I go to my videos, I can see there are some popular ones as well, like 4,000, 2,800 something views are there. So it's great that people are liking this channel and it's my responsibility to create something new for them and so that they can learn about it and they can talk about it. So today I am here to discuss something new which is going on right now. Everybody is looking for this LPG, right? The LPG crisis in India, why it is happening, what is happening in Iran, what's happening in Israel, what's happening in Strait of Hormuz. So all these kind of jugglery is going on right now. And there is a lot of data which I'm going to discuss today because our channel is basically based on data. So I will tell you that what exactly the data is, why it is impacting India's economy and all these things. So, okay, so let's start with this map. This map is very important, guys. See, this is called Strait of Hormuz. So you can see this is Dubai and this is Iran and this is Kuwait, this is Iraq, this is Saudi Arabia. So all the oil which Saudi Arabia is producing, it is going by this particular way. Kuwait, Iraq. So whatever they are producing, they are going from here and moving from this particular space. That is called Strait of Hormuz. From here only the oil is passing and then it is coming to India and any other place. Okay. So what happened? Iran said that we have blocked this particular space. So this Strait of Hormuz is blocked by Iran because Iran owned it. There's only around 33 kilometers of stretch, and if I say nautical miles, around 21 nautical miles, something like that. So 33 kilometer of stretch which is blocked, and Iran is just block this particular stage, and it is saying that okay, I will give it only to China, not any other country. Even I think India also got the two ships which have been passed from here, and it is going to India, and that's why we are facing a bit difficulty in that. And because of this blockage, the crude oil prices are going like anything. They are heading towards 100 plus dollars per barrel. And see, friends, do not worry about these barrels, gallons, and liters. I will tell you what exactly the count and how it is measured. So be with me till end and try to understand this particular problem, that what is this Strait of Hormuz problem, how we are dealing with that, and what exactly we are doing. So let's start with that. As I told you that my way of telling the things is very simple. I don't want to make the things difficult for you. So first, you can see that this is which I have created for you. So first is Strait of Hormuz, and this is my channel's name. Let's slice data with Saurabh. So I have already explained you, right, what is Strait of Hormuz. So this is the Strait of Hormuz. This is Iran. Here it is Iraq. Here it is Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Doha, UAE. Whatever the oil they are producing, it is coming by this particular way that is called Strait of Hormuz, and it is governed by Iran, and it has closed that. And because of that, everything is going up. LPG pricing, whether it is petrol, diesel, everything will go up because the supply is getting barred. So the end products will also get impacted, right? And be with me to understand what it is. So Strait of Hormuz, what is impact on India's economy? Geopolitical choke point, it is saying, because why it is saying the geopolitical choke point, I will tell you that as well. So let's focus on this. So the Strait of Hormuz, a global juggler, you can say. What is the strategic importance? Connects the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman. It is between them, actually. That's why it is called the Strait of Hormuz. It is of very strategic importance. It is the connecting point between the Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman, and 21 miles wide as its narrowest point. So you can say 21 miles wide. Okay, you can convert that into the kilometers. Handles 20% of the global petroleum and 1/5 of the global LNG trade. 20% of the global petroleum is passing through this particular wide area only, and it has been stopped by Iran. So definitely there is going to be stuck, right? The supply got stuck. Definitely the end products are going to be much costlier. How many? 20 million barrels of oil is flowing daily by this particular thing, this particular Strait of Hormuz. 20 million barrels of oil. It is too much, guys. You can easily understand one barrel is equal to 158 liters. And you can say in gallons also, sometimes we are measuring it. So one gallon is equal to 3.7 liters and one barrel oil is equal to 42 gallons. So one barrel is equal to 158, around 160 into 20. You can say it is 160 into 2, 32, 320 million liters, basically barrels of oil is getting stuck because of this particular problem. Iran said, I'm not going to operate because you have bombed us. Who has bombed them? Israel, US, all the things are going on in the Middle East. Because of the Strait of Hormuz, everything is getting stuck. When the crude oil will not come, the end products will not happen. You have seen that there is a lot of disruption in the plastic industry as well, because it is obviously the end product of oil, right? Petroleum. So everything is getting struck because of this. If petrol is going high, the daily consumables, the vegetables, everything will get affected. Why? Because the petrol prices will go high. There I have seen in India, there are a few people who have started, collecting the oil in drums and all, and they are just doing some um, stocking of that particular oil so that there will be no problem. But why it is important? Strait of Hormuz, as I told you, it is only 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, and 20% of the global petroleum and 1/5 of the global LNG trade happening in this particular Strait of Hormuz. And it is getting struck by Iran. So you can understand there is a problem. How much oil we are sending by it? 20 million barrels of oil daily flow. So you can understand that what kind of importance it is having. Then the crisis, what happened there? Military strikes launched on Iran. Iran retaliates by declaring the strait closed to Western linked ship. So like US, UK, all the ships got stuck there. Commercial tariffs dropped by 90% as insurer withdraw war risk coverage. So definitely it happens, right? Heightened maritime concentration, sinking the Iranian frigate Iris, Dana. Current mode, what happened? All the things are learning, means like they are fighting with anyone. Iran allows passage of for non-aligned nation. Non-aligned nation means what? Who are not supporting US, who are not supporting Russia. They are called the non-aligned nation. Gut Nirpeksh, basically, if you say in Hindi, that is created by Jawaharlal Nehru long back, like India, China. But risk remain high because the hallway is being on fire. So everybody is dropping bombs, right? Even if they allow passage for India and China ships, that is also a problem. So this is the biggest problem happening. How we are dealing with that and why it is coming to India? What is the basically we are doing there? So if you talk about India's energy vulnerability matrix, LPG, India imports 80 to 85% of its LPG needs. 80 to 85%. 90% of these imports pass through the Strait of Hormuz. So you can easily understand why there is LPG crisis, why we are seeing that the cylinders are not getting refilled properly and all these things. Even though they are giving some non-aligned nations pass through that, okay, you can take your crude oil and LPG from that particular thing, but still that is a problem because it is taking long time to come to India because of this bombings and everything. 50% of normal domestic LPG availability is currently exposed. Crude oil, historically 50% of India crude transited through the strait. So you can understand Strait of Hormuz, India's how much? 50% of India crude. That is 2.5 to 2.7 million barrels of oil per day. 2.5 to 2.7. And 50% of India's crude. So 60% of India's LNG import pass through this route. So 50% crude oil, 60% LNG, when it is going through that particular Strait of Hormuz, if you see here is a small map. So from here only, India's 60% LNG is coming and 50% of the crude oil is coming. And if this is blocked, then definitely there is a problem, right? In India, you have to face that. As I told you, one barrel is equal to 158 liters. Remember this, guys. This is also an interview question. Sometimes they will ask you. Okay. So this is the vulnerability matrix of India. Why we are facing the heat? Because of this particular data. 50% of India crude and 60% of LNG pass through this route. That's why we are facing this particular problem. The Strait of Hormuz. Everything is getting impacted, guys. If next is impact on Indian economy. Fuel prices. Brent crude surged to $120 per barrel. Forecast suggested 150 if the blockage persists. See, guys, if $1 per barrel crude oil will increase, there is a impact of several dollars. I will not say how much, but because I have read $2 billion on the import bill in internet. So you can go and search that. But trust me, every dollar which is getting increased here for the crude oil, India import bill is getting increased in billions. Trust me. And every $10 increase in oil price raises inflation by 0.2% and cuts GDP growth by 0.1 to 0.2%. This is in the Indian context only. All this data I got from Germany. But I want you to tell that, okay, why it is happening? Because there is a struck. The crude oil prices are going up and our GDP is getting impacted. The current account deficit could widen towards 3% of the GDP because of this crude oil prices. Every $10 increase, 2.2% inflation and GDP growth cut down by 0.1 to 0.2%. Now you can calculate what is the Indian current GDP and how much it is going to impact us. Fertilizers, 40% of the India fertilizers in needs come from the Middle East. 40%. See, 40% of the India fertilizers, definitely it is going to, the cost, price high, everything will happen. Freight and insurance premiums are driving up the cost of trade, export-import trade. So logistics are happening. It's like there are so many things. Like there is some people are saying that, okay, why not take the crude oil from Saudi Arabia from here and deliver it by trucks to this particular place and then travel it to India. But even if we avoid this particular route, how do you know one ship carries crude oil? What is the size of that particular crude oil? It's around 8,000 trucks in one particular ship, VLCC, which we call very large crude containers. So VLCC contain around 8,000 of trucks, crude oil. So 8,000 of trucks, you can understand that, okay, what is the cost impact we are going to bear? And from where we will get that, then definitely the crude oil prices will go up. The end price, the petrol, diesel, naphtha, flights, everything will go up because it is impacted by this particular Strait of Hormuz from Iran. Guys, there are few things which you just remember that 50% of the India crude and 60% of the LNG imports pass through this particular place. 40% of the India fertilizers, we are depending upon the Middle East. So Iran now means like said that, okay, non-aligned countries like India, China, we will allow. But still there is a problem because they have to save themselves because America, Israel, they are dropping bombs. And how do you save yourself? And for that, what is going on? See, what India is doing means it is not like that this is the problem and we are not doing anything. We are doing what we are doing basically, our strategic response and mitigation, which is very important, guys. This you have to understand. March 11 means what? Today's 14, right? 70% of the India crude imports are now being successfully routed from outside of the strait. Example, Russia, US, Africa. So this happened already, but still 30% is dependence on there, right? And government has directed refineries to maximize LPG production, raising domestic output by 25%. So our refineries are working in that particular direction to maximize the LPG production and domestic output by 25%. But it is the direction from the government, how much it is implemented, how they are working on that, that is important. Inventory buffer, 10 days of crude inventory is in refiners' hand. Strategic petroleum products available at Visakhapatnam, Mangalore, and Padur. So petroleum reserves are present in Visakhapatnam, Mangalore, Padur, and 10 days of crude inventory in refiners' hand. This is the inventory buffer we have. So hopefully in next 10 days, the situation will get in control. But 70% we have already rerouted. 25% we have asked the improve the LPG production through domestic productions, and this is all going on. So it is not like that Indian government is not doing anything, but it is a world situation, right? It happens from time to time, and India has to take that particular risk. And we have to do all these things basically. Focus on your own country assets. See how we can mitigate this particular risk because we are largely dependent upon the Middle East. Okay, Operation Escort. As I told you that they are bombing continuously. So what Indian Navy is doing, they are doing Operation Sankalp, Operation Escort, actively providing security efforts, escorts to the essential vessels. So whatever which is coming from that particular area, Indian Navy is making sure that there is an Indian flag and they got safe. LPG ship Shivalik safely crossed on March 13. So this is the yesterday's data, guys. So Shivalik crossed that particular strait and it is coming to India. Personal safety over 778 Indian seafarers on 28 Indian flags vessel in the region are under 24/7 monitoring. Indian Navy is doing all these things basically so that they will not get harmed. Because when the bomb will get dropped in a particular region, it will not see whether it is Indian ship or Iranian ship or anyone else. But Indian Navy is doing a lot of hard work. Diplomatic balancing, India is leveraging its ties with Tehran to ensure non-aligned status allows continued movement of Indian tankers. So this is all going on, means like in the back end. Non-aligned means what? Who is not aligned to US, not aligned to Russia, non-aligned. Nehruji started that long back, and India is trying to maintain that status that, okay, allow me to take my ships. So it is not like that India is not doing anything, but this is the strategic move which we are doing right now using our Indian Navy. And conclusion, I will say India is relatively resistant to in crude oil, but remains highly vulnerable to LPG shortages. It's a short term. Long term, the crisis underscores the need for expansion of strategic petroleum reserves. Means like looking for some other like Bombay High, Assam, Digboi, and where else? Rajasthan, Mangala oil fields and all. We have some oil there, but we have to focus on more. Faster transition to alternative energy like green hydrogen versus EV. So that's why EV is getting, a lot of subsidies and everything. Diversified maritime trade routes. So do not depend only on one route. Try to take the alternatives. So this is all about the Strait of Hormuz. I believe like this is very important topic and everyone should know that what is Strait of Hormuz, why it is impacting the Indian economy. Just to summarize few things, the Strait of Hormuz is handling 20% of the global petroleum and 1/5 of the global LNG trade in that particular trade. But when it comes to India, 50% of the crude oil and 60% of the LNG is going through that route only. So that's why we are facing the heat. What we are doing, we have already taken out 70% of the crude, reroute it to Russia, US, and Africa, and ask the refineries to raise domestic output by 25%. So that is all we are doing, which is in our hands basically. So this is all about this particular situation, which I just want to tell you. And if you have any questions, any questions, any queries, and thank you very much for watching actually for till end and learning something new. See, my aim is to give you something which is relevant, which is new, and you can learn something out of it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Ask your friends to subscribe my channel. Thank you. Bye for now.